Today we're getting experimental with tire size to see how a fat bike rides differently with fat tires versus 29 plus. Oh man. Woo! Fat tires and 29 plus are my two favorite tire sizes. It seems silly because they're heavy, they're slow, but they are so much fun. And I ride for fun and enjoyment, not to be the fastest person on the trail. One cool thing about fat bikes is because they have to have massive tire clearance for these big fat tires, they can fit all sorts of other tire sizes as well. So today we're gonna ride it with 27.5 by 4.3s, do a lap on that, and then we're gonna swap the wheels for 29 by 2.8s to see how it changes the character of this bike. So I'm actually really curious to see if I prefer it as a fat or as a 29 plus. Let's find out. Oh, look at this beautiful moth that decided to join us today. I love being in nature. This is a steep, punchy, wet, muddy climb. Oh, I love fat tires. There was so much traction up there. So much fun for techie climbs. It's kind of interesting, within the fat bike world, there's different genres of fat bikes and different tire sizes. Some tires are 3.2, 3.8, 4.2, 5.0, all the way up to 6.0. Geometry is everything, especially on a fat bike. And if you want to understand geometry inside and out, so you never have questions about changes and how they'll affect how the bike rides, you owe it to yourself to take my geometry master course. I've got over 100 videos taking deep dives into the theory of mountain bike design and geometry, so you can know how to tweak your bike to make it work better, or how to be more informed when you purchase your next one. Today's video is on a trail called Dirt Therapy. That is a nonprofit organization for veterans who use mountain bikes as their therapy and as a way to get past PTSD and difficulties of life. Awesome, awesome organization. I recommend you check it out and consider donating. Here we go. I love the sound of the tires. This thing is a playful bike. I want to interrupt this video real quick to tell you about these brand new keychains that I just made. They're MTB Party keychains. If everybody watching this video purchased one of these, it would change my family's life. It's a small thing for most people, but it would be massive for us. These keychains are designed by me. They are 3D printed by me. They are shipped out one by me, and they're available right now on my website. It's a cool way to show your love for MTB Party. So if you've benefited in any way from this channel, pick up one of these keychains in the link below over on my website. It would mean the world to me. I'm super proud of these. They're cool, and it's a great way to show your love for mountain bikes on your keychain. Pretty awesome having that much cushion and traction. Still manuals through stuff. Big square edge brick rocks, clear little 5-foot gaps. Oh, this thing is so fun. What a bike. The steering is not quite as responsive as with smaller tires. There's just so much rubber on the ground. Real big rock garden. Oh man, smoother than any hardtail should be. And that's not a big surprise with these big tires. Woo! Massive G out there. Oh man, that is so fun. What a great baseline. All right, let's swap wheels and see how it rides different with the 29 plus. All right, we're back at the truck to get these ready, and you can see that the 27.5 fat is still taller than a 29 by 2.8. And as these get wider, they get taller and taller. So like a 3.2, like I had on those Jones, are actually about 31 inches tall. They're big tires, and you can feel that extra rollover, which is pretty cool. So this doesn't ride like a 29er, this rides like a 30.5. The rear end of a fat bike is a lot wider, so I can't just put my normal wheel set in here. And I'm putting in the wheel set that Corvus sells, which is really cool that they offer that. I always wonder what people in the parking lot think when they see a guy swapping cassettes and rotors or bars. I'll bet people have thought the weirdest things, and they'd probably be right. Manitou has the coolest axle design, and I actually think it makes it lighter and stronger. The axle doesn't spin when you tighten it, just the nut on the end So I just slide the axle in, and then this little keeper over here. I like that because then the axle's not spinning inside the hub like that. Really, really cool design. Manitou's not afraid to do things differently. With the 29 plus tires, they almost look skinny compared to how this used to look. It just looks like a regular mountain bike until you get up close and you realize, wow, that fork has so much clearance as far as width goes. You just notice the fork is really wide, but no big deal. It's funny, it makes these look like 2.2s, not 2.8s. So much clearance in the back. All right, let's see how she climbs out of here. We had tons of traction on the fat tires. Oh, we are slipping. We got it, but there were a few wheel slips. It rolls smoother on this pavement climb. Feels more efficient. Feels a little lighter. The steering feels lighter for sure. It definitely feels quicker on the climb. Just feels a little peppier. It's got a little bit more momentum. Just a smoother rolling ride. My main business is consulting with people to help them find the perfect bike for their riding style and budget. I do that over on Patreon, whether it's a full suspension, enduro bike, trail bike. I've ridden more bikes than almost anyone on the planet, and I'm able to talk about how different they feel. After you pay to become a bike consultation member, I have a questionnaire you fill out. It comes to me, and it gives me a lot of info about you and your trails and your budget and your needs. And then I'll recommend 5 to 10 bikes for you to check out. And I'll tell you the pros and cons of each one. And then you go back and research and watch reviews and learn about them, and you start to narrow down your list to maybe 2 or 3. And then you talk to me and say, hey, which one will be better at this? Which one will be better at that? And I can help you navigate that. I can even help look at some classifieds you're looking at and tell you what to look out for and if it's a good deal or not. If you're new to the sport or you haven't ridden over 20 different models, getting the right bike for you is so important. And my ideal bike when I lived in Sedona is totally different than my ideal bike here in Bentonville. And so depending on where you live, you might have totally different needs than someone else. So I'd love to help you over there. That's how I put food on the table for my family, and I love working with people. I'll see you guys over on Patreon. All right, here we go, dirt therapy on the 29 by 2.8s, which feel small, but they are not. Oh, it's significantly bumpier. I don't know that it's any faster yet. Oh, that's feeling faster. I feel like I can carry a little more speed. Oh yeah, it's quicker. Yeah, I'm carrying more speed and flying through this a little quicker. I'm a little more nervous on these bumps, but they're doing okay. Yeah, man, it feels quicker, less monster trucky. I have a little bit less confidence on front tire grip, transferring a lot more vibration to my body, a lot more fatiguing, but it does make this feel like a totally different bike. I almost feel like I could use a degree slacker with these skinnier tires, but it's cool because it preserves the geometry. Bottom bracket height's the same, head angle's the same. Ooh, that is way worse through there, way slower, way less confidence in traction through the big rock garden. Much prefer. Wow, what a difference. I can't wait to get to the bottom and tell you the differences I'm feeling. That was cool. You can totally get a different vibe out of this bike with the smaller but still huge 29 by 2.8 tires. I actually wouldn't want to go any smaller on the tires. This is a stiff frame. When you're running it in fat mode, it doesn't bother you because the tires are soaking up all of that, and it's kind of nice to keep it from flexing too much. But when you run these tires, even though I'm only running 18 PSI front and rear, it still beat me up a lot more. I was bouncing more and in a little bit less control, but I kind of skipped across some of the features where on the fat bike, it kind of maintained traction and smoothed it out. I feel like this is maybe 10 or 15% faster and more efficient. It just kind of holds its momentum really well when you're going through stuff. Diving into corners and pumping things, this was way more lively. Where this was scary was that rock garden where it was just like grapefruit-sized rocks and grapefruit-sized holes coming in pretty quick. This was way more sketchy. And it's not just the tread pattern, it's that I was deflecting off things more where the big 4.3s could conform to the terrain. And so the flowier it is, the more I like these 29 plus, but the chunkier it is, the more I'd like the fat tires. So I think if I was riding whole enchilada, I'd rather have fat tires on this, even though it'd be a little bit more tiring. it'd be a lot smoother and I'd be able to goof around a lot more. If I were doing white rim trail, I'd want these tires, 29 by 2.8s. Just 120 miles of lots of pedaling. I think the fat tires would wear me out a little more, and it's smooth enough that I'd be okay with these. I also feel like this needed 1 degree slacker with the 29 plus, just with kind of how zippy it felt. The geometry just kind of felt like an okay hardtail, whereas as a fat bike, it feels fantastic. One other thing that's interesting is the suspension fork I have set up for a fat tire. And so it's a little bit stiffer because the fat tire was doing more of the work. Whereas here on the 29, the tire didn't have as much sidewall and squish to conform, and so the fork actually felt harsher. So I need to run the fork a little bit softer when I'm running harder tires. But on a fat bike, the tires are acting as a big part of your suspension, and so you're gonna wanna tweak the fork when you make this change to make it match the ride feel as before. I love fat bikes as much as trail bikes as I do as snow bikes, and they're just a really great way to get a grin, to feel confident. I think it'd be really great for new riders who don't want to mess with suspension and get it all dialed and just want a simple machine, but they can just tune their air pressure how they want, and then they have a lot of confidence, a lot of traction. Sure, it might be a little bit slower, but they'll have a lot more control. So yeah, there it is. Pretty cool that Corvus sells both wheel sets, so you can buy it the way you want or swap it. I've ridden this in Sedona as a fat tire, and it was super fun there. I've ridden it here in the snow. I've ridden it in Bentonville on flow trails. It's just a really, really good time, and Corvus makes a super fun bike. What questions do you have? Let me know in the comments below. If you need bike consultation service, I do that over on Patreon. And if you want to learn about geometry, I do that over in the link below on my website. And if you're looking for a keychain to support this channel and rock your MTB party love, I've got a link to that down below too. Thanks for watching, everybody. There's a party in the mountains and you're invited.